Hey, what's up everyone? Danny and Alex. In this boxing tutorial, I'm going to show you guys how to pull, sit, slip, and roll underneath punches so you guys have better boxing defense in your next sparring sessions, so check it out. All right, so the first thing I'm going to be looking at is looking at linear basis, all right, the linear footwork, all right? So the first head movement is basically not being in the way, in the range of punches, okay? So in a linear fashion here, all Alex is going to be doing is moving out from the jab. He's going to take a full step back, making sure he's out of range and coming back in range. So if you notice here, if he didn't move one quick jab or even a step of my jab and I reach the target right here. So he wants to make me miss, look, boom, with a full step out and he comes back inside. This is a great drill to practice because now you get a sense of range, okay, of punches. And now once you're used to this, you can counter back. So as an example, when he goes out, when he returns back into range, he's gonna fire out his jab. See, it's gonna look like this, 1 and 2. 1 and 2, make them hit, and then boom, catch them back. Make them hit, boom. See, as I miss my jab, then I come back my jab and he returns his, all right? It's almost like, imagine the person's jab has a Velcro and I pull him right back into the counter punch, right? So one more time, just the slip, I should say the step back, again, pull and then come back in. Pull and come back in. This is stuff you should always be practicing when you're solo, in shadow boxing, understanding range, visualizing all of your distant punches and how you're going to counter back, all right? Now, of course, building on this, once you understand that range, you don't need to take a full step back. So this is the full step back, see? He moves out and then moves back in. Now we can take a half step, all right? Once you understand the range of the jab, you can just take a half step and come back, see? Half step, that only means moving your back foot, but not moving your lead foot, see? Just enough to evade the range of the punch, and then he comes back into the center. And with the same thing now, on the first one for a counter, we came back with our own jab. Watch this. As he takes a full step back, 1, he comes back with a jab. And the reason why is because if you come back with your right hand, when he takes a full step back, he's far away. He has to take a step back, and he can also walk into my right hand, all right? So it's safer to come back with his jab. Full step back, come back with your own jab, all right? Or you can come back with a 1-2. 1 and boom, boom, because the left is gonna keep my right side occupied, okay? Now when he takes a half step, in this case, he can come back with his right hand directly because he's still in range with his lead foot. It's much quicker. So look, he's gonna take a half step here and then boom, fire off right here, see? 1 and 2. There's a fraction of a second that's much quicker on this one. So again, half step, boom. And then building on this even more, you can get really slick and only move the upper body. That's called a pullback. You're just pulling the upper body backwards, making them miss, see? And you're not even moving your feet on this one, see? Boom, like a spring, boom. Same thing, boom, boom. And then right hand, 1, poof, counter back, see? Make them miss, make them pay. 1, boom, 1, boom. And of course, you can come back with a 1-2 if you wanted to, bam, bam, all right? So this is the first set of how you should propose your defense against straight punches. So for example, head movement, just by using your footwork is probably the best and safest thing you can do because you're still in range to counterpunch. Okay, the second part we're gonna look at is sitting underneath punches, all right? I call this the sit, all right? So Alex is gonna demonstrate just here, just a sit. So he goes 1, sit, all right? Again, sit. Now notice how we use our legs. We bend at the knees, not at the waist on this one, all right? So underneath the jab, or underneath a straight right hand, same thing, right? You want to keep the eyes up, the chin down, tucked in, all right? Because if you sit and you lean forward, for example, like this, you're still going to eat the punch. You're going to go collision with that opponent's punch, all right? So you want to duck all the way down straight underneath the punch and come back up. Now you also want to have your chin tucked in when you do so, your eyes up, because that way if you do miss, all right, see, the position now of your face is not going to be rocked backwards, as opposed to if you sit but your head or your chin is up, look, as you sit you might get rocked back and that's going to injure your neck, all right? So it's always prudent to always tuck your chin but keep your eyes up, all right? So now demonstration here as I throw the lead jab, boom, see? Notice how he doesn't bend at the waist, it's mainly at the knees, all right? Boom, hands are kept up, head is tucked in, and the eyes are always on the target because now he wants to focus on what his counter punch will be, or it might be my second attack, all right? So maybe I threw a 1-2. So he wants to be aware of this and not just come back upstairs and eat this right on the jawline, all right? So he wants to see what's coming up. So boom, this is how we practice. Boom, all right? And sometimes when you're used to this now, when you do this solo, it's good to maybe do like a couple of minutes nonstop of just the sit, all right? So like this, maybe set a full round, and just to build that leg endurance, because at the beginning, if you're not used to this, you're gonna get tired. What's gonna happen, you're gonna start cheating the movement and bend at the upper body instead, right? You wanna use your leg, right? And build that leg endurance, okay? And now you also wanna practice moving in. So sit in, see, sitting in and sitting out. Sitting in and sitting out. Notice how when he ducks, he actually brings the back foot back into position. And when he goes out of there, he moves the front foot back into position. So you want to step as you sit and then return, and step out as you sit out and return. All right, so this is a good way to practice sitting in, sitting out. All right, so look, if we practice this again in a linear fashion, look, all he's going to do is vertically sit down, even on the right hand, boom, boom. And now the reason why we showed you guys how to sit in is because he wants to be able to walk inside the pocket, right? So look, he's gonna walk inside, see? Boom. As he takes that step, he makes me miss, but he's also in range. And now I can't fire the right hand, he's too close, and he's in proper position maybe to get that infighting technique that he likes. Maybe he likes to work that body shots, you wanna sit in. So if we switch sides, notice how he's gonna walk inside the jab, boom, okay? Now don't mistake this with a bob and weave, because basically we're not rolling, we're just sitting down and coming right back up between the gloves, see? Boom, see? Right in the center, boom, okay? And then you can practice a drill like this, just the first one, where he just goes down, throws one. So as I throw it here, he comes back up, now it's his turn, boom, my turn, his turn, boom, and we go back and forth like this. And sometimes we'll practice this as a partner drill back and forth for a whole round, okay? Now the reason why you want to sit out, backing out, I showed you earlier, is because sometimes when you're in tight, you want to be able to back out of there, right? Maybe I'm against the ropes and I'm going to throw a left hook, watch how he ducks, and he's out of there. See that distance? So use your footwork and the head movement to evade the punch, right? So in tight, boom, he's out. Let's switch sides again. So again here, look, in tight, boom, and he's out. That's the sit out, boom. And now if he sits in, sit in, and now if we get in tight, sit out, all right? Again, sit in, one, he walks inside the punches, and now if we were in tight, he wants to practice this move to be able to evade the shot and also sit back out. Now, if we want to use counters to this, usually when he just sits in, sometimes he'll load up the right hand. Look, he sits in here, boom, and then look, the right hand will follow, poof, okay? Other times he might not even take a step. He might just sit, boom, as he comes back upstairs, poof, fire the right power shot. And now sometimes he'll sit in and walk it in and throw maybe like two uppercuts. See, look, one, poof, poof, inside. Sometimes to the body, uppercuts, or sometimes they're at the chin, boom, bam, bam. Sometimes it's gonna be uppercut, left hook, boom, bam, bam. It doesn't really matter, right? But the idea is you wanna be able to understand why you're using your footwork combined with your head movement to place the proper position for your counterattacks. All right, next up, we're going to be looking at how you move yourself to the side of punches, all right? So basically slipping, okay? So look, in solo first, okay? When you practice slips, there's going to be two ways I like to advocate slipping. Sometimes we just move laterally like this, okay? This is great sometimes because you're just kind of like not showing your partner where you're going to be going so you can load up some punches. But when someone really attacks you and you want to make them miss, you want to step on an angle. So you want to kind of lean forward, all right? So an example, if you threw the jab at me, I want to move to my right side. Ideally, I'm going to move to the outside of your punch, all right? We can also move on the inside, but we got to be aware of the next punch coming. So what I want to do now is just step a little bit on an angle. Notice how I just moved the lead foot and I kind of lean in. So now I'm showing you with the gloves down just so you see the upper body here, boom. But basically you want to keep your hands up and then boom, okay? So it's almost like your lead guard is protecting in front. But when you slip your head to the side, you want to be moving this one to replace your chin. It's almost like you don't want to drop both hands here. You don't want to keep everything up because now you're blindsided by your own gloves. All right, so if the punch is coming here, now you're going to move your body to the side, lean in on a 45 and use your backhand almost to cover here to guard. You don't want to bring it with you because this is going to be exposed, all right? So look, if we practice this against the jab, basically what you want to do is always make sure that your body steps towards the elbow. You don't want to just move to the side. You want to move in against the forearm, see? Because if you just move to the side here, just like this where he is, although he made me miss my first punch, he's also in a perfect range to receive the next punch. If he moves his body forward on an angle with his step, now it's very awkward for me to throw the right hand, okay? So look, this is how we practice the slips. He walks it in, boom, 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 boom. And of course, now I always want to shoot the jab exactly where he is, and this is going to position him to make me miss and eventually work those counters, okay? So look, sometimes what we can do is just practice back and forth. So I throw a jab, he slips, and then we reset back in the middle. It's very important when you're done your slips, don't stay lazy and stay where you were. You want to come back to the reset position. If he throws his jab, I move to this side. I throw my jab, he moves to this side. Again, boom, and back to your stance, okay? Boom, back to our stance. Boom, back here. 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. And if you do it right, you should almost feel the air of your opponent's glove and forearm pass right through your ear, okay, right beside your ear. You feel that. Sometimes the glove will graze, that's fine, no problem. But you just want to get hit flush. So basically you're moving your chin out of the way, okay? Now, we can use counters with this very easily. When he dips to the side here, sometimes you can simultaneously throw his left jab to the stomach right here, see? Boom, that puts him in proper position. So now notice how he kept his foot in front. He wants to keep his foot right in front, right here, okay? Now if he moved to the side a little bit more, boom, and now when he comes back upstairs, that loads him back up to a reset position, okay? Now instead of throwing the jab, you can also lean to the side here on the jab, boom, and as he comes back upstairs, look, he's gonna cross right over, poof, right over the shoulder, okay? So look, he steps it in, and look, boom. So if he stays in the middle, that's the jab attack to the body, boom. Now if he wants the right hand, if he stays right there and he slips, he's not in proper position to throw the right hand. He's too far, he's off balance, and he's gonna eat my right hand. When he moves to the side with his lead foot, boom, look when he comes back over the top with the right hand. That's why we call it a cross. Basically, we're crossing our arm over the opponent's guard, all right? This is a great way to look at how to slip on the outside. Okay, next up, we're gonna be looking at slipping to our left side. So basically slipping away from your opponent's right hand. Okay, so look, on the right hand here, when I move, it's gonna be the opposite side. So look, he wants to move himself away. So again, you wanna move your lead foot, but this time in the direction where you're leaning, all right? So that way there you have an anchor point, place this, and that sets you up for the counters. The reason why we're doing this is because look, once I miss here, look at the opening right here, the body shot right there, boom, right? You wanna show, you know, it's almost like you're exposing the rib cage, all right? So when he throws the right hand and I moved here, look at that body shot, almost like a shovel hook right here. It's almost like an uppercut, right? Right in this position, okay? As opposed to a leaning body shot when I lean down and I go here, now I won't have time to do this because I made him miss, right? He threw a punch and I got to here. Now a lot of times this is exposed, I have a second here. So that's why I planted my foot here, and when I twist, boom, that body shot comes right to the liver, okay? So Alex, you'll do one here, 1, 2, okay? Again, 1, 2. And sometimes we can come back to the head instead of the body. Look, 1, and then boom, loops it over the hand. See again, 1, boom. Or we can combine. If you're fast enough, you can go double shots, right? So you go downstairs, back to upstairs. 1, poof, bang. Here's what's gonna happen, guys, right? In reality, when I throw the punch, he hits me to the body, but my hand is not staying here. All right, it's coming back. And then when it comes back here, boom, he catches me on the chin. Because a lot of times when you get hit to the body, the instinct is gonna be to bring the hand back where it hurt, all right? Nobody's gonna keep their hand out once they get tugged right here, especially where the liver is. So a lot of times when you got hit here, oh, the forearm's gonna come back right after, and that exposes your chin. Nobody has the arms, the glove to the elbow long enough to cover everything, right? A lot of times something has to give, either upstairs or downstairs. So when he catches me here, body shot, and then boom, upstairs right away. This is a good way to practice that as well. So now we can just practice it as a partner drill. He throws 1, I step out. I throw 1, he steps out. So always step off the line of fire, offside. You imagine there's a straight pole right in the middle, and that pole is right between our legs, all right? And it goes from the ground into the belly button, center of your chest, underneath your chin, and exposes on the top of your head. That's the pole I want to visualize. And I just want to move myself away from his pole, all right? Then I come back into the middle, and he does the same thing. So he moves away and comes back, all right? So again, if I move away here and he throws a left hook, I'll walk right into it. If he throws the right hand and I moved here, now I'm in a perfect position here, and he's in an awkward position to counter back, all right? So again, move to the outside and come back, all right? Now we can practice this as a drill. What you do with your training partners, make sure he always returns to the center, doesn't get lazy and stay leaning onto one foot. So now I'm gonna throw the jab and the cross, right? So he has to lean on one side, come back to the middle, on the opposite side, and come back to the middle. See, he moves here and reset. I'll give him time to reset, right? This is a great drill to practice. Have my training partner reset each position, moves here, comes back to the middle, right? And moves to the opposite side. See how he moved? So now we want to train that reflex where if I didn't shoot, why would you want to move, right? So here, he moves, 1, and then 2. And then sometimes I'll go a little bit quicker. 1, reset, 2. Another time slower. 1, make sure he's aware of where my punches are. Don't move for any reason other than if the opponent threw a punch for real. So right here, see? And then we can go quicker. 1, and 2, and 1, and 2. And so on, right? We can train this however you want. But the trick is always train slow. Always make sure that you and your training partner are aware that you're just drilling. So basically just practicing so you don't go too fast or too hard. Once you trust that you're comfortable with the technique, then you start to speed it up. All right, guys, so now we're gonna finish up with rolling, all right? Also known as bobbing and weaving, okay? So this time, basically you wanna roll underneath punches, especially hooks, okay? So the first punches were straight punches. Bobbing and weaving is going to be mainly against hooks, but sometimes against the right hand as well, especially when the right hand is followed by a jab or a left hook. Right? A lot of times when you're already in motion, it's perfect for you to just sway to the opposite side once again, okay? Because you're already in that rocking motion from left to right. But first we have to learn how to do it correctly. So when we roll underneath a punch, it's important once again not to duck, all right? A lot of boxing coaches might teach you to duck from the waist down all the way here, and that's fine if they like to do that. That's perfect, okay? I don't like to advocate that type of rolling simply because every time you duck in this fashion, freeze, you have no idea what's coming up. He's not looking at where the danger is, and that's my punches, right? If you were to do MMA or Muay Thai, even worse, but that's for another video. But just for your boxing, every time you roll, you're not gonna be attacked by the ground, right? The floor canvas is not gonna punch you in the face. This is what you gotta be aware of. All right, so you got to be watching what you're doing at all times, okay? So when you roll, for example, against the right hand, he wants to roll and then on the opposite side, distribute the weight, shift it back. So notice how he shifts to the back and then the front foot and then back to the back foot once again, all right? So this is important. You want to make the letter U every time you roll down, okay? So look, if I'm here and I get an angle on Alex so you guys can see what's happening, okay? The moment he rolls, he wants to go underneath and also a little bit forward, okay? Just like the slips, he doesn't want to just stay in the middle and roll because then he's going to have to roll again on next punches. So ideally he wants to step in during his roll so that whether he's tight and that puts him back into a reset position, or if you wanted to, just throw that counter. We're going to look in a second, okay? So every time I'm facing my partner here, the moment slow motion he throws the right hand, look, and freeze. The moment I see daylight between the elbow and his body, that's the second I need to start to move my head, all right? So here, and I want to go into that armpit and roll underneath here. The reason why, because now I have that perfect angle where he's in a improper position to hit me back, but I am in a perfect position to counter back, okay? So a lot of times when I roll, I'm going to roll here into the armpit, and I use this forearm here to check his arm, all right? If I keep on pushing or tugging on this shoulder, for sure he can't twist his body back for the left hook. As opposed that if I just rolled underneath like this with my hands down, now he's in a perfect position to twist his upper body back into a second punch, all right? So tricks of the trades for you guys to keep in mind. So look, Alex is gonna roll here, 1, and then come back, okay? Again, boom, and then come back. Now, the same thing goes for my left hook. If I threw the left hook, he's gonna roll, but in the opposite direction, okay? So again, look, he wants to bob and weave here, okay? Again, 1. Keeping the upper body straight and not leaning forward is super important in my opinion, because that way there you're always aware of what's coming up, okay? And then if you want to train this, we can just go back and forth while I throw a right hand and a left hook. So he has to roll twice. Look, slow motion, 1, and the left hook comes, 2. See? He throws the right hand, 1, and left hook, 2. I go, 1 and 2. He goes 1 and 2, 1 and 2. And these are great drills to add slowly into your training routine and then eventually speed things up. But this is good because now you start to roll on both sides. Now, on the same token, sometimes when he rolls, he's gonna roll here and look the body shot. Boom, and upstairs. Okay, look, 1, 2, 3. And now on the left hook, he's gonna roll and throw the cross over the arm. See, here, rolls, boom. Sometimes he might throw the lead uppercut as he's dipping underneath to my chest and then coming on the opposite side, poof, and then boom, right? There's many different combinations and counter punches you can use. Just giving you guys a few examples because I can make like a 4-hour-long video on counters, but basically understanding how to move your head underneath, around punches, you know, sitting underneath them, moving to the side is of the utmost importance if you want to excel in the sport of boxing. All right, so building on sequences you can use to train your rolling techniques, all right? Sometimes you can also incorporate more combinations such as catches, all right? So basically, if I threw a jab cross here, he's gonna catch the jab, and then he would cover on the cross, boom, and then would cover downstairs on the body shot, boom. I'm gonna reload here and make him roll here, see? So this might be a combination where someone's gonna throw the boom, boom, come downstairs, back, reloading upstairs, right? So here, 1, 2, 3, and then reloading here. That gives them time. Again, catch here, cover downstairs, and then roll underneath the last left hook, okay? Now, another thing you can train is sometimes the people will throw the right uppercut. So if he throws a right uppercut here, usually I'm gonna catch it right here. But look, once I start to move here on the right uppercut, look at the side of my face that's exposed. A lot of times they're gonna come back with the left hook, and that's when the punch comes in. All right, so you're gonna have to practice this. So if he throws this, boom, then you wanna roll here. All right, so Alex, you'll do one. So here, boom, and look, roll here. Okay, one more time. Catch here, and look, he wants to roll. He won't have time because his glove is connected to mine. He won't have time to bring the guard back up. All right, it's too fast because in reality, this is what I'm gonna throw. Poof, poof, right away. So he wants to go 1, 2, out of there. But if you train this, your reflexes are gonna build up where you're gonna be used to the basic boxing combinations, and now you're gonna be aware of what comes next after each punch. So look, boom, right away, he's out of there. All right, so this, you must train a lot to get really, really good at this stuff so that way there you can punch, block, and evade punches. Okay, so on the same token as that last combination, a lot of times in a more realistic sparring situation, he might throw a liver shot right here. So I'm gonna have to put my guard back into the way. But a lot of times, this is my first counter, poof, right to the face. Right, so a lot of times I teach this where I cover on one side, boom, poof, catch him right underneath by surprise on the same side, same arm you've blocked. So now he wants to learn to block this as he throws the body shot here, knowing this is coming, catch it, and then roll again, just like we just did previously. So again, here, boom, 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 see? Again, boom, boom, bam. One more, cover, catch, and roll out of there. See how now we can start to build all of the defensive techniques we have in boxing and put them in the drill. Okay, next up, all head movement. Okay, so now we have 2 straight punches. He's gonna roll twice. So a basic 1, 2, 3, 2 combination, jab, cross, hook, cross. So he's gonna slip on the jab, slip on the cross, and roll underneath the left hook. But as the right hand comes back, he wants to roll once again, okay? So this is basics, right? You don't move your feet, you're just moving your head. 1, 2, 3, 4. But he doesn't wanna stay there. So on the last roll, I want him to move a little bit out on an angle, all right? So look, move, move, roll, and as he rolls, he moves out of there to create an angle, all right? This is the proper way of doing this. So he's gonna go 1, 2, 3, and 4. See, he's out of there, away from my next punch. Because after the right hand, there's only one option, my left hand. If he stays there, he has to cover, he has to block, he has to roll again, and it's never ending. If you can create an angle on this side, my left hand was never gonna reach him. All right, so slowly, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Watch how he moves out of there. And now he's away from the left hand if I were to continue my combo. All right, so after 3 or 4 punches, you should be out of range, either linear or on an angle from the opponent's attacks. All right, next up, we're gonna be doing a flow drill, okay? Basically covering. So in the previous video, we showed you guys how to catch punches. going to show you guys a little drill we like to do, although we're doing less head movement this time, but it's a good partner drill. So now look, he's going to catch my jab. Boom. So every time we just catch a jab, we just turn our palm like this. Boom. But look, every time the jab is here now, what he wants to do is, I want you guys to understand that when we want to use the hand to catch, if he throws the jab here and I use the lead guard like this to block, this is not wrong. It's just that sometimes I use this myself. It's just that now I'm freezing up my own hand to counter. Okay, I'm blinding myself, and if I throw the right hand, his guard comes back right up, or he might throw his right hand before mine, because now he's freezing up my glove, and the right hand comes here before my hand goes. Now if I can use this guard to attack, look, if he throws the jab, and I catch it here instead, now this hand is much quicker to attack, intercept his right hand. Sometimes I'll use this, just catch, and just keep my guard here to keep in the range of his right hand, so that way there, he can't fire it out, okay? So just once again, tricks of the trade to show you guys some good sparring tips, okay? But now, as a drill now, I want Alex to learn to catch that jab here. Boom. See how he just catches it here, right? Boom. Boom. But look, as he throws here now, he's going to fire right back. That would be his counter. Boom. So to practice now, I want to return my cover. So I go here and here. See? Here and here. So this, we can go back and forth. See? Boom, 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 sparring drill, boom, boom, because you got to get used to, a lot of times people are going to fire that right hand right back, okay? Now we can build up on this and add 2 more punches. So here, 1, 2, and look, my right hand shoots right after, which makes him move his head this time. But look, he might come back with a hook, so I have to return back into position. If I get sloppy and I throw a hand and he slips and I bring my hand here to my chest, I'm going to get clocked. Okay, so now we can build 4 punches. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. See, my hand is in proper position. Once again, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and we can add 2 more punches once again to make it more complicated and get that flow. So here we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, and he goes to the body, 6. Okay, so we added 2 more. So look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so look, guard is up. I have to bring my gloves back. Guard is up. I have to bring my gloves back. Guard is up, and now I have to guard downstairs. Okay, now we're up to 6 punches. And now we can add 2 more to make it an 8 count. Okay, so 2 more hooks. So again, catch, cover, move, cover. Cover upstairs, cover downstairs, and look, I'll shoot it again, and he shoots it again, because a lot of times when we throw the left hook, we tend to drop the opposite hand like this, see? So we have to keep it tight. When I throw the right hand, I don't want to get sloppy. I want to bring it tight. Same thing with the left hook. I don't want to drop it here. I want to keep it tight, all right? So if we put this into a drill, he catches, cover, moves, cover, boom, cover downstairs, cover upstairs again. Okay, one last time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we're back into our stance, all right? This is a good flow drill just to practice keeping your hands up, and also what we can do is switch roles. So I would take Alex's place. So basically what we're doing, I was throwing a right hand, going with a left hook, reloading downstairs, and then upstairs. That was Alex's combo. Now my combination was basically going 1, 2, doubling up on the hook. But now if we do all these 4 punches, but keeping our gloves and our elbows tight, it makes it easy for us to practice the defense. So that's how we made this drill. All right, lastly for this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you guys how to roll and cover. Okay, so basically catching the punches. Sometimes I'll catch the jab, right? So he just catches right here. So boom, boom. And now a lot of times people might throw the right hand, for example, right after. So he's going to cover on the opposite side. Boom, boom. See? Very easy. Catch and cover here. Catch and cover. So basically you're using your lead guard to just protect yourself against the right hand. So look, 1 and 2. And then sometimes it's going to go 1, 2, 3. So it's going to cover on the opposite side as well. So it's going to go 1, 2, and 3 right here. So pop, 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 pop. One more. Okay. Now, using this, I can throw a reload. So it's going to catch the jab. And now as I throw the left hook on the same side, he has to cover again. This is something that's very common, right? I personally like to do this a lot. Just tap on the same side, Boom, making sure the opponent's honest, because a lot of times when they catch or parry, they keep the lead hand there and they can just loop around it, all right? So it's good to practice to come back and guard upstairs. And on the same token now, you can practice your rolls. See, 1 and 2. See, 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Or cover upstairs on a 1-2, boom, boom, and then roll, right? You can just mix it up, right? So we talked about moving your head, but sometimes you want to incorporate the movement with your covering as well. You want to be able to cover and then of course countering back, all right? So it's super important. So using the pulls, using the slips, using the sits, using the rolls, all right, are super important for head movement, all right? You also want to be able to know how to move your feet out of there, understand range. All of these important concepts are super, super, super important to practice on a daily basis if you want to get really good. So the more you practice, the better you're going to become at reading your opponent's punches. So once again, the rule is this: start light, start slow, and slowly build it up to a more faster pace, so that way there you get comfortable. Don't go too quick or you're going to get discouraged. All right, so slipping your head, moving your head out of punching range is super important. Once again, hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Leave us a thumbs up, make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you
in the next video.
Take care.